Have you ever felt depressed and lonely? Well, wait, come back. It's okay. It's just the jumping off point. I mention that because it's relevant to what I want to talk about today, which is community and other people. At the end of my 28th year, I was feeling quite alone and directionless. I had, up until that time in my life, been part of a little friendship group. They were the people I hung out with socially and also creatively. We made films together, short films and corporate videos and stuff like that, and that's how I learned how to do video stuff. Now I started to write for performance. There were 3 of us, and that really was my little safe bubble for creativity and exploration. And it came to pass, as all things do, that this group came to its end and we stopped making things together. See, I was at that point in life where people are going off to do other things, maybe start families or careers and stuff, and I was still holding on to this dream of following my creative ambitions, whatever they were at the time. I wasn't done with making things and telling stories and wanting to work with people like that, but now I had no outlet for it. I was on my own. All my life until that point, I had been a very confident person, so long as it was within the bubble of the people I knew and what I knew. If you put me in a new situation with strangers and new experiences, I would become quite shy and scared and quite anxious. Now I found myself in a place where my creative ambitions seemed like quite a lonely pursuit. I felt like a bit of an outlier, a bit of a weirdo in our small town. Now I had nowhere for that to go, and I was still too scared to leave and do anything else. It's when you're in that corner of not having any other options that you finally have to make a different choice. I signed up for an adult education creative writing class at the college that I used to go to, which sounds small, but actually at the time it was a really big step for me. Voluntarily putting myself into the position where other people might see me and might think I'm weird, or I might be challenged on some of the stuff that I know or didn't know actually, because up until that point, I kind of avoided learning about writing in any kind of formal way, thinking, man, I don't want to conform or water down my amazing ideas. Really, there was a healthy dose of fear and laziness in that for me. The class was fine, and I felt braver for having done something new. At that class, I also met a couple of people who went to a drama group as well. I'd always been a frustrated performer, and I was kind of curious about what it would be like. I thought doing some acting might benefit my writing, so I went along, and I was absolutely terrified. But it also felt like I'd found my tribe. With hindsight, what I tell that lost and directionless young man is that you don't have to do it all on your own, and you can't. You need other people. You need to be part of a community. It sucks to feel like you don't belong and the stuff that you make doesn't make any difference. I'd been carrying some unhelpful ideas about quite how many people it takes to forge a creative career, believing that creatives, especially writers, do it all on their own, or that asking for help makes you look weak or stupid, or until you reach that top tier in whatever you're doing, you don't have anything to offer anyone else, which is all terribly unhelpful and rubbish. Speaking for myself, underneath all of that is a lot of fear about being seen, fear about not being good enough. And it's a really reductive diminishment of creativity to think of us all as independent players all in competition with each other. Behind anyone you admire who achieved anything that inspires you is a network of other people who supported that person to make it happen. Whatever happens to the work that you make, whether it's winning that competition or getting published or getting that exhibition, the 2 biggest factors in having a fulfilling journey are the practice that you spend your time doing and the people that you spend your time with. The benefits of being connected with like-minded others are multiple, but here's 3. Greater motivation. It can be hard motivating yourself when you're the outlier and you don't have anyone around you who cares as much as you do or understands why you do. Just being next to somebody else who gets it is enormously encouraging, and being in the panopticon of other people working on their ideas will make you get off your arse. Growing an audience. We overlook this all the time. The people who you involve in the making of your work, sharing early work in progress stuff, asking for advice, that's the beginnings of your audience. Your work doesn't have to be finished and perfect to find its way into the world. That process begins when you're making it and you involve other people. Those people who give you encouragement and advice and feedback early on, they're giving your work the very attention that you're hoping to invite in the future. Treasure those people and keep sharing your work with other people, because eventually you'll find others who love what you do, and then they'll become advocates for your work. Expanding your horizon of possibility. Your current view of what's possible for you is limited by the knowledge that you have. In the unknown lies possibilities. There are things that you know you don't know, and there are things you have no idea you don't know. Other people and their different knowledge and perspectives will help reveal new possibilities. This will happen through them sharing their knowledge with you, or even just modelling that something else is possible. And it's not limited to external possibilities and opportunities out there. It's other people who can help reveal potentials within us that we haven't even acknowledged. It can take somebody else to reveal something we're already doing that is amazing. Finding your why. The more you follow your curiosity and go towards what feels meaningful in life, the more you grow. Your curiosity is there to guide you towards things that you need to grow. And the more you follow it, the more deeply you'll understand why it matters to you. If you trust this internal sense, then the more aligned your beliefs and your actions become. And then you start living your why, which is pretty cool. Community is a group of people that have something in common. And everyone around you has something in common. You! Who is it that we need around us to live a creatively fulfilling life? If our community is a village, then what kind of village do we need to cultivate around us? Here are 6 different types of people that I believe that you need in your creative life. These aren't mutually exclusive. We all have many dimensions to us and how we connect with others. Cheerleaders. These are the people who support you without hesitation. Even if they're not directly involved, they'll ask you how it's going and they're the first person to buy a ticket. Yes, your family counts, your partner counts, your best friend who doesn't really get it but still shows up, they count. Treasure all of them. Tribes. More niche than a community, you might belong to various distinct little tribes built around your different interests, like the poetry group you go to, or the salsa dance class, or the figure skating academy, or the bowling club. In real life, online, these are the groups that give oxygen to those weird and wonderful different parts of you. Heroes, the people who you admire and are inspired by. They shine a light on the qualities within you that you wish to grow. And you may or may not have a relationship with your hero in real life, but they're still important, and you will likely already have heroes in the people you know around you. Collaborators. It might be some totally co-authored, co-created project with both of your names in equal billing above the thing. But collaborators are also people we involve in small ways in our creative process. Like, as I said before, getting feedback from people, sharing a work in progress that you have. Those people are collaborators too. Experts. Not the crusty old white man idea of an expert, just somebody who knows something that you don't. Which is everyone, right? Everyone has something to teach, and seeking out knowledge by connecting with other people will help you learn and grow. Audience. The people who show up and give your work attention. In the early days, your tribes and your cheerleaders might form the core of that audience. Don't overlook them. Over time, the people who keep showing up will become champions of your work and they will tell other people. So your creative village is a network of relationships which are thriving and healthy when based on support and mutual trust. We can nurture those relationships by giving what we can and asking for what we need. Relationships are an investment that you pay into over time. There is work to be done in the village and nobody is too important to get away without doing it. Make yourself useful to other people. Give your time, your attention, your encouragement, your support, your knowledge, your wisdom, your feedback. Make the coffee and wash the cups up when it's your turn. Give generously what you can. Trust me, you already have things that other people need. Now this is really hard. Even when it's silly, even when you think the other person's too busy, even when you feel a bit stupid, ask for help. Asking for help creates more value than if you just struggled on your own. In our self-involved fear of not wanting to be imperfect or burdensome, we overlook the generative value of asking for help. I mean it, asking for help creates more value than if you don't. Think about it. In asking for help, you'll be forced to clarify exactly what it is that you're stuck with, and that's already helpful. Admitting that you need help makes you vulnerable, and voluntarily sharing your shortcomings with other people is a brave thing to do. So go you. It feels good to be asked for help. It implies that you value what the other person has to offer and that you trust them with something that's important to you. How do you feel when somebody asks you for help? Feels kind of nice, right? Being of service and asking for help builds trust, and trust builds relationships. So think about the people you have around you and your creative village. The tribes, the audience, the cheerleaders, the experts, the collaborators, your heroes. What help can you ask them for right now? And what help can you offer them? Because there are things you can do, but you can't do it on your own.